Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Janderra. I'm Geraldine, and today I'm doing up my entry for the Gladiator challenge number 4 for SHEDWARS21. So the challenge is to grow something from the store, but to do it so that you're not drying it out, the seeds out or anything like that. So you're basically just grabbing the seeds out of the fruit and chucking it in some dirt, and then once it germinates, we take 2 of the seeds, we pick 2 of the best growing seedlings. Those ones we get to watch throughout the growing season, and we pay special attention to how much produce we get off those actual plants, and that total can increase the chances of my team winning and getting better weights. So I'm on Team Aquarius for the Northern Hemisphere. Now I live in the Southern Hemisphere, so I'm actually a Southern Hemisphere volunteer up in the Northern Hemisphere. So yes, so let's go. So I've got a couple of things that I'm going to be doing today. Some of them I'm going to be able to have produce come off them within the SHEDWARS growing season, others not going to. That's assuming they actually grow. So there's a lot of different things that I actually do this sort of thing with, and I'll probably leave links up there and links in the description for how I've grown leeks from the shops over the years as well. And shallots and green onions and that sort of thing. So yeah, but today I'm wanting to grow some papaya. And this is actually a red papaya. So even actually in Australia it's called a red papaya. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop out the seeds along with some pulp. I'm not going to dry it out or anything, and I'm just going to stick it straight into the dirt. This dirt is just potting mix that I've gotten from probably Bunnings or Mitre 10. So I've got a little bit of pulp there as well, which isn't a huge drama. I have done this before and actually gotten pretty good germination, just not usually at this time of year. Papaya likes the warmer weather, so that can help it germinate better. So I'm actually going to put a little greenhouse thing over the top of this, and I'll probably have it inside so it's a bit warmer. But then we've got that to be able to eat later, which is going to make Jonathan very happy, who's sitting here watching me, eagerly waiting to be able to have a look. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so that's basically my papaya seed, in the pot. And this is actually a red papaya. It's not a pawpaw. I'm just going to put some soil over the top of that. And then what I've done is I've got a water bottle and I've cut it in half, so I've got that. And I'm just going to stick that over the top, and I'm going to put some water in there. Something's going on with one of my chickens. I'll have to check that later. So I'll water that in a little bit. So pop that over there, it's ready to go. Next, I've got some garlic. And I have actually tried growing garlic before without much success. But these ones are already sprouting, so I'm thinking that's a really good sign. So I'm actually going to put some of them into the aquaponics. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to go by the fact that it's sprouting from the top there. So I'm assuming the roots will come out the bottom. And I'm just going to stick that in the dirt. I'm just going to stick 2 in this pot. So basically your garlic clove usually comes like a garlic. Your garlic. I'm not sure what it's called when it's all the different cloves, but I'm just going to put one couple of little cloves in. I'll put 4 cloves in here, and I'll transplant it up later in the season, so when it's actually doing something a little bit more interesting. So I've got those in there like that. I'll put some soil over the top of that. Won't put too much over that. I don't think they need the cover, so I'll place some more of those out in the garden. The next thing I've got is some garden mint. So I did actually have a garden mint plant and it died for various reasons, mostly lack of water. So this is just some common mint, and mint will grow from a cutting. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these leaves off, which I can take inside and make a tea out of. Okay, so now I've got all the leaves off. So I've got this pile of stalks here, and I've got a pile of leaves there that I can make some mint tea out of. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of honey. So this is raw honey that was grown just out the back of my place from by one of my neighbours. I'm just going to put a little bit of honey. So this is raw honey. I'm going to put that on the bottom of the mint, and this acts like a bit of a rooting hormone. So it helps it to strike. And I'm just going to push that in there. So I'll come back soon. So I'm going to put this in fast forward so it doesn't take so long for you guys to watch. You don't have to watch me stick it all in there. Okay, so now I've got those all done. They're all popped in there. I'm going to add a little bit more soil, which I probably should have done at the beginning because I was just sticking these ones in. And technically, potting mix, not soil. And I'll probably end up watering these guys with some of my worm juice from the worm farm. But that's basically it. So next step is I'll need to water it. Now these other cuttings, I'm actually going to stick those in a jar of water. So I'll do that later on. I'm getting a bit of a mess here, aren't I? Okay, so next I'm going to do a mandarin. And I've got a 4-year-old here who's eager to eat the contents of the mandarin. Now the tricky part with the mandarin is actually finding the quarters that have got the seeds. And some of them don't actually have some seeds, so that's a bit tricky, isn't it? So I'm going to grab one of these, and I've got a seed from a mandarin that I ate earlier, and I'm just going to pop that with the mandarin. Yes, Jonathan, you can have some. So they're the same mandarins. I'm just putting the mandarin in there because I don't really know why. Mostly because it's part of the challenge to have it so that it's growing with the pulp. So I'm just going to put 3 of those seeds in there like that. I have no idea whether this is going to work. I've never grown mandarins from seed before, but I have heard that mandarins, or citrus in general, will grow true to type. Yes, Jonathan, you can have the rest of the mandarin. Okay, so that's those ones. Next, and I'm going to do something with the other mandarin seeds as well. Now, apples don't grow true to type, so this is a bit of a lucky dip, Russian roulette type thing. And generally speaking, they actually say you should plant it straight into the soil where it's going to go, because the apple tree doesn't like its roots being disturbed. So I'm going to try a couple of different methods with this. This is actually a pink lady apple. And I'm not going to open that up just because that's part of the challenge, is to do it just like that. So I'm just going to stick that in there. There's 2 seeds in there. I'm just going to stick that in there. It looks like there's only 1 in that section, but I'll stick that in there as well. And I'll cover it with some dirt. So this really is a bit of an experiment, really. So there's those ones. So next, what I'm going to do, actually what I'll do first is I'll put these over onto the little stand I'm going to stick them on, and then give them some water, and then we can, no, first I'm going to look at doing the other methods that I'm going to try with these, which is the paper towel method. Not quite sure how many seeds I've got left in here. This isn't part of the Gladiator challenge, this is just me experimenting. Ooh. And Jonathan's having a delightful time eating my mandarins. Now, I'm not 100% certain that this is going to work, because generally, from what I understand with apples, you need to actually put them in either the fridge or something like that for a couple of days or a couple of weeks to actually convince them to germinate. But there's a good chance that these apples have already been in cold storage, but I don't know. This is a pink lady variety. Yeah, generally speaking, apples don't like having their taproot disturbed, so it is better to plant them directly in the ground. But I'm just experimenting a bit at the moment, and I'm not sure where I want to put them. So I'm just going to put that in there. And I don't have a little spray bottle that's working at the moment, so I'm just going to put a bit of water on my paper towel. So it's not a huge amount of water. I'm not going to fold this over because I don't want to have to just open it up and disturb the apples. So I'm just going to pop that in the bag. And technically these are napkins, not paper towels, but yeah. I have no idea whether this is going to work. I've never tried this before. So remember to subscribe to the channel to see how the progress of these are going. So that's the apples, and I'm going to put that inside, and I will probably put it so that it's that way, just so that there's a bit of dark there. But yeah, so that's the apples. Next, I've got some mandarins that I'm going to be doing the same thing with. So we've been collecting some mandarin seeds over the last few days that we've been eating mandarins. Jonathan's going to put one on. Thank you, buddy. And I've got some that I had from a couple of days ago. Oh, don't worry about that. I think you chewed that one, buddy. But that's okay. That one looks a bit crushed. So,
this one too.
That's the mandarin seeds. And I'm basically just going to do the same thing. Ideally, it'd be better to use a spray squirty bottle, but I haven't got one that's working at the moment. My only squirty bottle is actually just spraying jets at the moment, not misting nicely. I have a little bit of soil on my hands too. I don't want that folded over. Should have put it the other side so that the snap lock thing wasn't there, shouldn't I? Anyway, doesn't matter. There we go. So that's that. That one. Next, I need to water some of these plants so I can put the mint in the water. Because all I'm going to do with the mint is I'm just going to take those and stick them in a jar of water. I'm only going to have about that much water in there though. I'm not going to have it totally full. So I'm going to put some of that water onto these plants, and I'm going to put little greenhouses over the top, and I'll come back to you and show you a little bit.
Mum, can you put your feet?
Okay, so next I'm just going to pour a little bit of water over it. I do have a tray underneath this so that plants can, the mint is the one that's going to need the most amount of water in there. Want that to be nice and moist. Ideally, it'd probably be better to actually have the soil wet first. So I'm going to have to get some more water for my mint. So next I'm just going to pop the little greenhouse thingies on the little tops of the bottles on top of them. I'm not going to worry about it for the garlic. Well, I might put a plastic bag over that. So the mint, I might put a plastic bag over that as well, just to create a little bit of a greenhousey bubble type thing happening. And I might put the garlic over the back, because there's water pooling in the middle there. I want that for the mint. So that's those, and I can't remember which one of those was the apple and which one was the mandarin. So, oh dear. Note to self, label your pots. So I've got to get some water for my mint, and then we'll be all good. And I'll probably put the mint up here. Not that it needs to be in the tray, but just so that it stays together. And I'm going to put some of that garlic in the aquaponics. So yeah, that's okay. So the pawpaws all watered and covered. I've got the mint with a nice bag on it. It's all nice and watered. The garlic I've put a bag over too. When I was watering it, it revealed that that was the apple. So that one's the apple, and that one is the mandarin. And then we've got the mint happily sitting over there. So let's see how we go. I'm going to take the papaya inside with me overnight. I may actually take them all in overnight and just pop them on my laundry windowsill over there. But yeah, anyway, you have a great one, and I'll catch you in the next video. Happy growing! Bless you!